Welcome back to a new episode. I'm Brian, the Unskilled Commander. So this is match 2 of these 4 decks. We've got Slivers, Landfall, Samurai, and Rograk and Kelith. As you may know if you watched the first episode of this match, or first match in this set, Slivers won at the end pretty solidly with a massive life gain and massive damage coming across with buffs and everything. Let's see what happens this time around. Already rolled the dice, and Landfall's going first today. Draw a card for turn. And I will play a forest. Nothing else I can do, so we will pass. Draw. Play a Boros Guildgate, comes in tapped, and pass. We're going to play a mountain over here. Well, also play Rograk on your first upkeep trigger, like main phase, begin, don't even play a land, play him, but yeah. That's all I can do, and pass. Draw a card for turn. I believe I'll play Seaside Citadel, which I just drew. Comes in tapped. It's green, white, or blue. I always like to play the tap lands as soon as I can on turn 1 and 2, just to get them, because you normally don't have that many, or at least I don't have that many 1 and 2 drops. So it's a good time to play them. You don't have to worry about missing out on mana. Pass turn. Draw a card. Play an island. I have both colors for my commander now. We're going to tap 2 for, let's see if I can actually pronounce it this time and actually focus. Kazandu Nectar Pot, since I just ridiculously messed it up the first game. He's a 1/3, and when land enters the battlefield, I gain a life. Nice little... especially since this deck is meant to play a couple lands per turn, it's a nice way to get some life back if you're losing it, or to get ahead. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to play a Plains for turn. Then tap 2 for Fire Diamond. Fire Diamond enters the battlefield tapped. Whoops. And it taps for a red. A little bit of a pseudo mana ramp there. Pass turn. So we will play a Plains for turn. Now I have both colors in this commander deck out. Tap 2 to go ahead and bring out Kelith. Boom. So now we can start swinging. There is a blocker over there, so there's not point in there. I think we're going to go with Slivers because we know what Slivers can do. Although, again, attacking, you don't want to attack people based on the last game. Every game is supposed to be new. We do know what Slivers can do. We do know that it can get big, but last time it got big in the end game. But maybe that's the point. So we're going to swing. When we swing, thanks to Kelith, that's going to get a +1/+1 counter on it. So it will go down to, where is it? 39 damage, 39 health, and 1. Here we'll use this one for 1 damage of Rograk so far. And pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. So Slivers is going to have to start moving fast if it wants to do anything. We're going to play Undergrowth Stadium. Comes in tapped because we have 2 or more opponents. It untaps. And I actually just drew a 2-drop Sliver, so white and 1 other, for Sinew Sliver. It's a 1/1, but all Slivers get +1/+1, so it is currently a 2/2. It can stop Rograk on the next hit, but Rograk has a bigger butt, more toughness as it were, so it would be a 2/3 on attack next time, and Sinew would die, but Rograk wouldn't, so that's not great. Pass turn, especially since that's a buff Sliver, we kind of want that to survive a bit. So we'll draw a card for turn. I'm going to play another forest and tap all 3. Well, first of all, trigger. I play a forest, or I play a land, so I gain a life. Then I'm going to tap all 3 for Farhaven Elf. When it enters the battlefield, I may search for a basic land. I will search for this island that's right there. Put it on the battlefield tapped, shuffle library. Landfall trigger, I gain a life. So not only are we ramping a little bit, we're also gaining a bit of an advantage on life to try and buy us some time for this game. We will then pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Going to go ahead and play a Plains for turn. And I now currently have 4 mana, so might as well go ahead and tap for my commander. Ryu, Storm's Edge, 3/3 with first strike, which is always good. And we have the samurai trigger of if a samurai or warrior attacks alone, you get an extra combat after this one. I'll explain the details more when it gets to the actual attack phase, but he's summoning sickness, so we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to play a Reliquary Tower for turn. And then we will tap 2 to play Maniacal Rage, an enchantment onto Rograk that gives it +2/+2, but he can no longer block. Let's see, I do not have any colorless 1-drops, unfortunately. And everyone does have creatures out right now. So what we'll do is we're going to go to attack, go to combat. Rograk is going to go at you again, getting the buff, so now it's really big already. And then Kelith, I think Kelith is going to go at Landfall just so that it can get a buff trigger off of itself. So now it is a 2/2. And let's see what kind of damage we want to do. I think we're going to go ahead and block with Farhaven Elf, just because we don't need to take any commander damage just yet. But over here, we've got a 4/4 coming at us. It's 4 commander damage. That would only put us at 5. And we are tapped out, so even if I had any kind of answers, I cannot play them just yet. But I like that buff. It's a simple, quick buff. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the 5, or take 4 up to 5 commander damage. That may be a mistake. We'll see what happens. We're going to go down to 35 life, and we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw over here. Now we're going to play Haunted Ridge. It comes in tapped unless you have 2 other lands. I do, so it untaps. I now have 3 mana. Okay, I do not have any answers in hand. But what I can do is tap 1, 2, and a white for Hive Stirrings. Put 2 1/1 colorless Sliver tokens on the battlefield. So now I have quite a few blockers. And they are all getting the buff, so that's 2, 2, and 2. So they have 6 damage among the combined might. So we're going to go ahead. Now he is unblockable, or he's open, rather. And right now that is a 4. If he gets another buff, it's 5. So we could stack block and kill it. But obviously he would take this out first, so the buff would go away. I think we're just going to swing in for 2 just to get a little damage in now. Again, could be probably a bad move, but it's kind of how I play it. Badly, actually. But besides that, that's kind of how I play. You never know what the game's going to do, and I like to at least contribute to the game in some fashion. You know, I don't want to be like, just sit here and do absolutely nothing and hit no one and do anything. So you know what? At least I did 2 damage in case I die quickly. Pass turn. All right. We're looking decent over here with the Landfall. We're getting close to being able to play the commander. So then what I will do is play a Forest for turn. I gain a life. Then I'm going to tap 3 for Search for Tomorrow. Put a basic land card on the battlefield not tapped, actually, and then shuffle library. So hang on a second. Let me see what I'm looking at. Yeah, I think the smart way would be to do that way, so I leave both colors open. Then, so we're going to put a island on the battlefield untapped. I played a land, or a land came in rather, so I will gain 1 more life. And then we have 3 mana still to play with, which is great. Oh, wow. Well, they're coming for us. We got to play faster, guys. So then we'll tap a blue and a green for Zimone, Quadrix Prodigy. She is a 1/2. I can pay 1 and tap her to put a land card from my hand on the battlefield, or I can pay 4 and tap it to draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards. So not only is she a good card draw, but she can help me get lands on the field with or without my commander out to get more triggers in. Now, right now she can't because summoning sickness, but still. I think the way we're going to do this is, I think I will swing the 1/3 in at Rograk and Kelith because they can get scary. Just, again, to contribute to the game. Early on, you don't really need to or want to really do little dings that aren't going to matter too much because it just draws attention to yourself. But, again, it's all me, so I already know. I'm aware of everyone else. So we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep. We're going to draw. I'm going to play a Plains for turn. I think smart move right off the bat is we're going to have to go and play, it's a sorcery, so I'm going to play Rip Apart, 3 damage to Kelith. Get that off the field, so now it's going to cost an extra 2. We'll just move that counter that way. Well, see, there is the problem, though. I mean, it's mainly about making making you waste mana to recast it. It's not going to affect the counters going up on Raggroth because whether it's on the field now, it's just going to be replayed. But I currently only have 3 lands, so maybe I don't have another land to play it. So we'll see. That could really help. So Rip Apart, played that. Now I have 3 mana left to do stuff with. I think I did play a Plains, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, including white, for Golden Tail Disciple. It's a 2/3 with lifelink. It doesn't have any kind of samurai or warrior triggers, which is unfortunate, but still. So we're going to go to combat. I'm going to swing at you because, well, actually, you've been swinging over there, so do we want to come swinging in over here? Because it's kind of like a gang up. Is it? I don't know. Once again, I don't want to be like, but you know what? And my friend that plays the Rograk Kelith, the better version of this, that's all equipments and stuff and some enchantments, she knows that as soon as she gets attacked first automatically as well, because if left unchecked, both of those commanders get extremely big really fast and can start swinging for commander lethal in a couple turns. So again, this is one of those decks that falls into that category: Toxrill, Mill, Rograk and Kelith, Slivers, where they are just, you sit down with them and you're basically automatically archenemy. It's sad that that's a thing, but from the flip side, I can see it. I understand the logic of why they do get attacked because they can get out of hand quickly. So yes, we're going over here for 3, untap, another combat. So it'll be 6 commander total. 6 commander total coming in from over here. And down to 31 total life. And we have a blocker with lifelink up, so we can go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. And remember, he can't block, so there's no point in leaving him open. So I just played the mountain I just drew. But, you know what? Because of that, we're dealing with Slivers. I don't like that you just smacked me. So I think the smart move is boom, boom. Even though we're not having enough mana to play Kelith, we're gonna arrest. Enchanted creature cannot attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Sorry, you just got shut off unless you got some enchantment removal or something. And that kind of sucks, but we have 1 colorless, which once again we cannot play. We don't have any colorless 1-drops like a Soul Ring or something. So we're gonna move to combat. The number is not gonna go up, but it's still gonna be 4 commander damage coming in. And you know what? Why not? I think at this point, because it doesn't get the buff, we'll stack block with these 2 little slivers and destroy it. Now, it's not going to be that much mana, but my point being, it will now cost 2 to play Rograk and 4 to play Kelith, so we will not be able to play both of them next time. And I think he's getting a lot of, that's a good move from Sliver's standpoint since we're getting attacked by the commander. So even though we're going to lose 2 Slivers, it's going to help us in the long run because now this goes back. This needs 2 as well to recast, and this enchantment falls off and goes to the graveyard. So pass turn. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. Let's see. I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3 for Ketra Crystal. Taps for green, blue, or red. I'm then going to play Dimir Aqueduct, bouncing, which one? Well, either one of these tap lands back to my hand because it'll come back and untap because I have 2 or more lands on the field already. Alright, so I wasn't able to cast a creature, but I'm getting some ramp going, which is nice. So I can cast more stuff later on. I have a 2/2. Yeah, you've been hitting me, so 2 to you. Down to 29. Right, and pass turn. Alright, so our landfall deck is looking pretty poised and nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're absolutely going to tap all 6 to play my commander, Aesi, Tyrant of the Gyre Straits. So I have not played a land yet, so now I can play 2, which is nice. So I'm going to play a forest. Landfall triggers, I gain a life, and I get to draw a card. So now here's where things gets fun, because now I will play Terramorphic Expanse. I will gain a life and draw a card. I will crack Terramorphic Expanse to go get an island that comes onto the battlefield. Tapped, of course. Don't shuffle away the hand. Although I don't think the hand's like super good right now, but still, don't shuffle away your hands. And a quick reminder, based off of one of my last games, not the last game I played, but one of them, read your cards, people, because had I read my cards, that game would have been, that 2-hour game would have been a lot shorter, and I still am upset about that to a degree. So, the land from Terramorphic Expanse comes in, gain a life, it goes up to there, and I draw another card. Cool, cool. So, guess what? We're going to tap and tap. I can play another land from my hand. Boom, I'm going to do so. Island, going to gain a life, going to draw a card. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. Now, look at this mana ramp. I've got a ton of mana now for next turn that I can do stuff with. I have a 1/3. You know what? I'm going to go swing the 1/3 this time at you just for 1, just because. I mean, again, you're going to make enemies kind of doing that, but it's just a little 1 damage just because I'm playing hee-hee. But everyone's going to see this massive amount of land in this deck. That's not a good thing in the long term. So we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Unfortunately, Ryu is kind of crap out of luck, as it were, because I don't know how much enchantment removal I have over here. But we will do this for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Sublime Archangel. Now, this would have been great had Ryu still been out, but flying, 4/3. Exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Other creatures you control have Exalted. If a creature has multiple instances of Exalted, each triggers separately. So, now the thing is, what that means is they both have Exalted, so whenever a creature attacks alone, it's going to get +2/+2. And this bad boy has lifelink, so that's going to make it 4/5. So, on the attack only, whenever that, once combat goes away, it goes back down to 2/3. So, not enough to swing into there, but more than enough to swing into both of these open characters. We've got 35 and 29 and 34, so I think we should probably go for Slivers. I'm going to gain 4 life off of that one. 44. And Slivers is going to go down by 4 life to 30. Oops. There we go. Okay. Making enemies left and right. But that's pretty good. It's a good move. And we do have a 1 spot. We don't have a 1-drop red, so pass turn. Okay. Untap over here. Unfortunately, we do not have any more lands. Yeah, so we're going to have to tap 3 to play Seer's Lantern so we get some ramp going. I guess we should sit on that. I have a 1 red drop, but because part of it has, well, basically, Renegade Tactics. Target creature can't block this turn, and you draw a card. I'm thinking of it for the card draw because I would like to draw a land that I can still play on this turn to set me up for next time, because then that would give me enough mana to play both my commanders again. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to do that. I could wait and blah, blah, blah and use it appropriately, but And it was, see? It worked out. Play a plains, next turn I can play both commanders again. Now nobody has haste, but at least they'll be back on the field and ready to start going. Pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Boom. So we're going to go ahead and play Haunted Ridge again. Comes in tapped, untaps because of reasons. So let's see. We've got blue, black, red, white, and green. Might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sliver Hive Lord, ladies and gentlemans. That is a 5/5 Sliver that gives them all indestructible. All you control, which is one of the reasons why it's the commander. So, it's actually getting the buff, so it's a 6/6 and a 2/2 with indestructible. We're going to swing that 2 into you, boo-boo, down to 27. It's not commander, of course, it's just damage. But we have a really nice strong blocker, so we're going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap all this mana to draw a card. Okay. So, let's see what is our major malfunction. Nice. Okay, I think we should try for that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Molemo, Molemo Maro Sorcerer. I'm sure no one's made that Guardians of the Galaxy joke off of Molemo. So he is a trample, and his power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9/9 with trample currently, and it's about to go up. Because we're going to play an island for turn. We're going to gain a life. And we're going to draw a card. Now, I can play an additional land thanks to Aisi's ability, so I'm going to play a forest. I gain a life. I draw a card. Let's see, I now have 4. So what would be the best thing to do? Probably this. As much as I'd like this, I do have one more spell that can get one more land on the battlefield for another trigger. I think we're going to tap 4 for Mercfiend Liege. It's a 4/4. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1, and the other blue creatures you control get +1/+1. Untap all green and or blue creatures you control during each other player's untap step. How crazy is that? So that means it's giving a double buff to these two and a buff to these two. So what that says is that Zimone is currently a 3/5 or 3/4. The Nekupot is a 2/4. Aisi is a 7/7 commander, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Molemo is a 13/13 with trample. Yeah, Landfall is looking real scary right now. Everyone better start paying attention to that. We do have unblockable Rograk and stuff. At this point, it actually would behoove us to start getting real. So we're going to swing these two. And actually, Aisi is available for swinging, but we'll leave that for blocking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 damage on you. Down to 22 because it's time to start eliminating players. And we're going to go ahead and pass. I will be excited to see if Landfall can win this. That'll be interesting. We're going to untap. We're going to draw. Regrettably, I do not have any more lands. Well, let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have an artifact destruction spell, which is great, but no scary artifacts on the field, which is surprising. Okay, I think what we should do is this. As much as I would like to play, I have a small, environmental sciences that I could play to gain 2 life and also get a land that I could put on the battlefield for turn. If I did that, that would give me 4 mana. Well, I guess that, you know what, let's do that. We're going to tap 2 white to play environmental sciences. I'm going to gain life up to 46. Oops. I'm going to search for a basic land, reveal it, and put it in my hand. We're going to need a mountain because we are in a deficit of mountains right now. Shuffle ye old deck. And then I will play said mountain for turn, which gives me 4 mana. So then I'm going to tap for a white and 1 other to play Spirited Champion. So 1/1, when Spirited Champion enters the battlefield, draw a card. Great effect, nice little draw there. Now I have 2 mana left, and I can actually play one of these 2 spells. I think they're both 2/2s. Their effects are pretty cool. Both effects are actually nice, so I'm not sure which one would be best. So we're just going to go a white and 1 other for Selfless Samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior attacks alone, it gains a lifelink. So that would only affect really itself at this point. It's the only samurai or warrior out. Unfortunately, the angel is not a warrior. Now, but they all have Exalted. So when I go, and I hate to dogpile onto Rograk, but we really want to take advantage of that life gain right now. He's got a big blocker, and he's got a big indestructible blocker. So, and unfortunately, it does not have trample. But then again, yeah, you're right. See, I want the lifelink, but flying 4 in the air, which would be all 4, so it'd be 8. It would be 8 in the air because it's good. Everything has Exalted, which Exalted says if something attacks alone, it gets +1/+1. They're all giving a buff of +1/+1. So yeah, we're gonna have to go and swing Sublime Archangel at Slivers for 8 in the air. Or do we want to, what am I thinking? We probably want to start sending that over at, yeah, you're right. The flying should definitely start swinging in at Landfall. And that extra turn, that extra 8 damage could be a thing. Part of me wants to, I don't know, I'm wondering if maybe I bumped the dice in it, because it feels like it should be a lot higher than just 45. I don't know if it was like a 50 and I bumped it down to 40 by accident or something, but then I think it took some damage, maybe. Regrettably, I'll have to find that out when I rewatch this video and be like, oh, darn it, the numbers are off. That makes difference, but we'll see. I would hate to have, this win, but unfairly. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, cool, that's lethal. Meanwhile, there's still another 10 damage over there, 10 health, and it could have won on the crackback or something. So, regrettably, that happens with running multiple decks like this. So, we've got 22, 30, and 45. Again, at the same time, I think we really do want to just start eliminating players. I don't think it's necessarily keeping everybody whacked in the face down low. No, we'll do it. We'll hit 8 for over here. It just feels, it's probably better. So 5 down to 40 and then 37. Because we do want everybody within decent range. So that's there. There's no end step triggers. We're going to go ahead and pass. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got enough to recast everybody. We're going to draw for turn. Terramorphic Expanse getting, well, it doesn't completely matter in terms of what's in my hand mana-wise, but we will just go get a mountain. If I can find a mountain quickly. That's all. Okay, there we go. I've asked this in other videos, but again, do you guys think I should not bother shuffling whenever something says to shuffle deck just for speeding up the videos? Or do you want me to do it, 100% accurate? I lean accurate, but if the consensus is, no, just speed things up, Brian, and just don't worry about it, we can do that. So I guess it's just a matter of getting the commanders out at this point. I have nothing. Ooh, that's a thing, but it is an instant. Question is, where is it going to swing? I guess that's true. We should watch for that. So I say we tap 2, these 2 rather, to get Rograk back out, right? Now I need 4 to do that. So instead, I think I will tap 2 for Blackblade Reforged. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a really good buff for him. The reason why I'm not playing Kelith is because I have Path to Exile and Instant, and I think if the giant, like 14/14 or whatever the heck it is, Molimo comes swinging in this direction, you need to be ready for it. You can't just, you gotta try and play smart, even though I don't normally do that. First time for everything, so go ahead and pass turn. Now we're gonna untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to play Vault of Champions. It comes in tapped, unless you have 2 or more opponents. I do, so it untaps. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and, white and 2 others. For Lancer Sliver, it's a 2/2. The slivers you control have first strike. I'm going to tap all 3. Wait a second. Nope, this is 3. To play Letter of Acceptance, add 1 to a mana of any color, and then you can pay 2 and sacrifice it to draw a card if you need to. I'm going to tap it for blue to play Opt. Scry 1, then draw a card. That's not bad. So I guess I'll do that. I'll draw that card. I have 1 mana open, nothing I can do. This is Summoning Sickness. These are not. This is still the commander damage from Rograk. I think. It's definitely commander damage. Alright, so I've got a 6/6 and a 2/2. We've got some blockers over here. This is scary, but we certainly can't swing into it. Although they are, indestructible, nothing will get through. We could go in that direction, but again, it would take out some creatures, which is good, but it wouldn't get through. Whereas over here, I think we need to go ahead and swing. And now what's he going to do? Smart moves to block the commander damage. But now it costs 4 to play a 0-drop commander. Seems unnecessary. And yes, we do have the path in there, but 6 commander versus freaking 14 solid smash damage on 22. We need to hold that back. So I think 6, 7, 8, we're going to have to take that 8 damage. 2 down to 20, then 6 makes it 14. And that is going to go, I think this is, I'm not even sure whose commander damage that is, unfortunately. So we'll just put this as 6. Part of the problems of I need to have something to actually maybe get some of those writable tokens that you've probably seen, infinity tokens or whatever, and then that way I can write down whose commander is doing what. It's probably something to look into. Go to my local comic shop, New Dimensions, and go grab some of those at some point in the next couple weeks. So, that's all we can do there. We're going to go ahead and pass turn to this incredibly scary grouping over here. We're going to draw a card for turn. I'm going to play Vivid Grove. Comes in tapped with 2, what are they called? Charge counters? Yeah. You can remove 1 to add 1 mana of any color, but normally it taps for green. So land came in, so we got triggers. I gain a life up to 38. I draw a card off of you, and that's all we can do there. I can play 1 more land, courtesy of IEC. I will play Memorial to Genius. Comes in taps for blue, or you can pay a blue and 4 and sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. Kind of a lot of mana to just draw 2 cards, but still. I gain another life, and I draw another card. All right, interesting. I like it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll tap 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Ley Weaver. Sorry. It's a 2/2 human druid, partners with Lore Weaver, but I don't know that that's in here. But it's untap 2 target lands. So then what I'm going to do, ooh, yes. This is going to be nasty. Let's do this. Tapping 1, 2, 3 to play Ramanap Excavator. It's a 2/3, but you may play land cards from your graveyard. Now, Why is that important? Because I'm going to go ahead and we'll do this. We're going to tap this island to tap Zimone. You may put a land card from your hand. Darn it. Because I was going to try and play Terramorphic Expanse and do a double trigger there. Unfortunately, I can't do that based off of what I have. So that's something to look forward to in the future. If I have something where it's like, you can go play an additional land this turn, I can now, because of that, play it from the graveyard. So that's very important. But instead, we will tap 2 for Rampant Growth. Search for a basic land card, put on the battlefield, tapped. Let's you know what? I saw the island first. Let's go with the island. Although, actually, we have a surplus of islands right now. Probably need a forest. It's always a better bet. As I said before, if you've got green in your deck and you're searching for a basic, you probably want a forest. Just because. Okay, shuffle up. Land came in. I gain a life back up to 40. And 40, and I draw a card. Okay. So what do I have? I currently have 2 mana available. That is not enough to do anything in my hand. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, 15. Sorry, 15 with trample. Yeah. Time to start the poning. Now, where do we go? Like, that's at 30, that's at 14, that's at 46. That's got Airstrike. The Rograk Kelith is no longer a threat. It's going to take way too long for it to start getting Lethal Commander or anything like that. The Slivers can be a concern, but they are indestructible, but I have the Trample on it now. So that is probably a good time to do that. And the Airstrikes can only get super big if it's swinging alone. So yes, I believe we will swing Molimo at Slivers, Aisi at Rograk, just because we need to get some people gone. So, I mean, do I block with the 2/2 Slivers? It's a 3/3 right now. Off of 15. I mean, cool, I take 12 instead of 15, and that Sliver gets destroyed, so now my other Slivers no longer have first strike. I guess every little bit counts, so yeah, we'll probably do that. We'll sacrifice the Lancer to take 12 damage, 10 damage down to 20, and then another 2 down to 18. That is a massive, massive hit in one shot. Nice job. Aisi is a 7/7 because of the double buff. Coming over here, again, do I block? Do I not, And that's not trample, though, so I can block it and not take it at all. And now we've got so much that we can't even play the commanders, or only one can equip. I mean, it gets... Oh, right. I do have the path in there. But the big dog didn't come swinging over at that. It came over here. So 7 commander damage off of 4. That would put us down at 7. That still is decent, but... Then we go over there, and then it's our turn to swing in at the open Slivers. I'm sure this is a mistake. Feel free to let me know in the comments, but I'm going to take the full 7. I'm just going to take it. It's 7 down to 7 life, and then 7 commander damage. We will denote it over here, although I don't think it's going to matter. There's no life gaining off of any of that, so we will pass turn. Going to untap, upkeep, draw. It's a land. Once again, another plains. I could use some more mountains over here, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to play with. Okay, cool. That's enough to play both of these creatures, so we will do so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to play Ayo, the Dawn Sky. It's a 5/4 legendary dragon spirit, flying with vigilance, and when it dies, I get to choose one, so we'll worry about that when it actually dies. Then I'll tap a red and one other to play Goro, Disciple of Ryusi. It's a 2/2, and I can pay a red to give creatures I control haste until end of turn. I don't have any open mana right now, unfortunately. and it is a samurai at least. But yeah, so now, again, we're going to have to go with the Sublime Angel. So what are we thinking? So Sublime Angel is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's going to be a 9. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Did I miscalculate that last time? I may have, huh? I think I may have accidentally counted Ryu. Well, but it's still a creature. It's a creature can't attack or block. Its activated abilities can't be activated. I don't know his exalted and activated ability. I think it's passive. Like, I'm not tapping or paying to activate that. So I think that still would have affected it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Sublime Archangel would be a 10-10 in the air, only on attack. So where do we want to swing 10 damage? 10 damage can kill this. It can put Slivers down to 8, or it can put that down to 30. I think the problem being that for right now, until someone can get rid of Molimo, commander damage is really your only main bet, because we've seen how that's going to go. It's got cards to constantly gain lands, and thanks to Necropot, that's just going to gain a ton of life right back again. It can gain like 3 to 5 life on the next turn again, depending on what gets played and what gets drawn from. But I'm not even sure if I have any more lands in that hand, so we might not be able to draw anything. But we can play from the graveyard, blah, blah. Okay. I think, well, you know what? Honestly, the way the board state is, I think Landfall is going to come in this direction next turn, simply because, like, I'm speaking from Samurai's perspective. 7 and 18, he's got like the 7/7 commander. You know, they're probably like they can want to attack us as much as they can, but they're probably just going to go after each other. And I'm at 46 as I'm actually higher life than they are, so they're going to swing that 15, which is going to be even higher trampoline over here, and I don't have the life gain that they have. So I think we're probably going to want to have to swing that in the air over there. I think we need to let them deal with each other and crack you down to 30, because it's going to be coming back. And at least we have some blockers. Actually, I have quite a few blockers, which is nice. So then we're going to pass. We're untapping over here. We're going to draw. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, not enough. Now. Right, we can tap 3 to equip Blackblade Reforged onto Rograk. And then we, of course, want to keep 1 plains open for Path to Exile. So that leaves us with 3 mana. So I could play, I don't have enough to play that and equip it. So if we play tap for Dragon Mantle, ooh, easy, don't rip up the sleeves. Enchant creature. When Dragon Mantle enters the battlefield, we draw a card. Do we get a land? We do not. That would be nice, but I don't have any open red. Awesome. And I wouldn't have known about that prior, so there's no way to say, ooh, I just messed up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Raggroth is currently a 6/7 with Trample, Menace, and First Strike. So the question is, where does it go? You know, I mean, goes to Sliver, sure, but then that still puts him at 12. You know, the commander damage isn't anything important, but going in these directions, everybody has more than enough creatures to block the Menace and probably stack block and kill it. But unfortunately, and see, now we get to one of those situations where would you try and be spiteful? Would you be like, yeah, I'm going to swing here. I'm going to die no matter what I do, so screw you. I'm going to get rid of your Molimo that's so great and let them have a chance at killing you. Especially since Landfall really hasn't came at this side. I'm sure there's a couple times he did, but it's not like I have a vendetta against him. You know, I'm not this low on life because of Landfall. So, I think, this 6 is from him, maybe? Or it might be from over here. Again, that's why I need to get those tokens to, denote that properly. But right? I mean, that seems extremely spiteful for no reason. It probably would be better to swing in, hit, and then use the path on Sliver Lord if he cracks back. And be like, look, I mean, Slivers have been doing, these two have been doing what's damage to me. It just seems real out of nowhere to just go, screw you, ha ha ha, you know, get killed by everybody else. And, you know, why? You know, I mean, if I was down to 7 life because of Landfall, heck yeah. But I think we're going to swing. We're going to do 6 damage to you down to 12. If I can find the 12. And then I believe this is from you, so that's going to go up to 11. Crank it up to 11. Woo! Sorry if that was too loud. But yeah, so that's all we can do. We're going to make sure we remember that we do have that path at the last second, pass turn. So, untap, upkeep, draw. I guess I'll play Path Ancestry, because why not? Let's see. We're going to need... What kind of doubles do I have, right? I do have a double. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One of which being green. Wait, hang on. Play things in the proper order. So white, red, and one other to play Lava Belly Sliver, which I believe we've seen in the last game. When a Sliver enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to target player, and you gain a life. So cool, I go up to 13. And yeah, I'm going to play 2 Slivers. I'm going to gain 2 life. I'm going to ding someone for 2, but who do I ding? Do I bother swinging over here? But 2, you know what? Yes. I mean, we kind of have to, right? Because, not that we have to, but 2 damage to either one of them is inconsequential. We know he has the potential to gain that back within, like, less than a turn, you know? You're allowed to play 2 lands thanks to Aisi. 2 lands would gain the 2 life right back. He does have a creature that has lifelink that would get the Exalted buff, so he would definitely gain that back. It's almost useless. It would be negated. Might as well send it where it's going to do some damage. Then I play those 4 mana to play Reflex Sliver. I gain the life to 14. And you go down. So all I have left is a land in my hand and 1 open mana there. My creatures do have haste, so that's new thanks to Reflex Sliver. They're all indestructible and they're getting the +1/+1, but that's a 3/3, a 2/2, a 6/6, and a 3/3. I mean, not gonna do anything. Now, here's part of the difficulty of me playing all the decks. I know there is the Path to Exile over there. So I'm tempted to not swing Sliver Hive Lord, but I honestly think it's not because of that, because it's 5 damage. I have 5 damage. Why send my biggest blocker to someone that I can kill otherwise when I've got this monstrosity over here? You know, I'm tempted to be like, no, I will just send all 3 of these over there in case you've got shenanigans, but I want to hold my 6/6 back to block. Because you're almost dead. I don't care about you. I'm worried about this. You know? So what would you do? Like, what do you do, right? But I'm worried I'm saying that, like, subconsciously because I know the exile's there. But once more, you know what? It's fine. We're going to do that. We're going to say, I'm going to send 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage at you. You have no blockers. It's going to kill you. But I'm holding Sliver Hive Lord back to defend against that. That's fine because these two have been smacking each other quite a bit. It's not a spite move per se, but it kind of is. It's like, well, cool, I'm going to die no matter what. So yeah, we're going to Path to Exile your commander in response to attackers being declared, and then I die. Oh, you son of a blank. Well, then you should have dealt with them, not me, haha. So yeah, scratch, boom, kabang. Rograk and Kelith are dead. These dice all no longer matter. All right, cool. So we're going to pass turn to this skullduggery. Draw a card for turn. Oh, that's nice. We're going to do that. We're going to tap these two. For Druid class, level 1 is whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Oh man, see this is where things get, continue to get crazy. They're already crazy over here. But this is what I love about this deck. Even though it's not some crazy turn 4 win, it's fun to play all these weird interactions. So I'm going to tap 3 to increase Druid class to its 2nd level. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. So I did not draw, that's what I drew. So I have no lands in hand, but that's okay because Excavator says I can play lands from my graveyard. Guess what's about to happen multiple times? We're going to play Terramorphic Expanse. I gain 2 life, thanks to that, up to 32. And then I'm going to draw a card off of my commander. Then I'm going to crack Terramorphic Expanse to get a land card. Whatever is the first basic I find. It is a forest. I gain 2 life. Well, shoot. I do have to shuffle up because of the draw. We're just going to do that, and then I'm going to draw whatever this is. It's a forest. Okay, cool. That goes into my hand. Okay, that was my 1 of 3 lands I can play. Well, duh, I can still play from my graveyard, so I'm going to play Terramorphic Expanse. I'm going to gain 2 life. I'm going to draw a card, so island. I'm going to then crack Terramorphic Expanse to get a basic land. It's going to be this island. It goes on the battlefield. I gain 2 life. Up to 38. I'm going to shuffle, then draw a card. Shuffle this top portion, draw whatever this is. Another land. Rinse and repeat. Final time, 3rd usage. Back up to 40. That has got to be super ticked off right now. I just cracked you for 10 and you instantly got it all back. I then draw a card. Okay, cool. I'm going to sack Terramorphic Expanse to get this basic forest. Also, bear in mind that while it's not 6, it's only 3, but Mulimo has now been beefed up by another 3 lands, and we're still not done yet. So that forest comes in. I gain another 2 life, up to 42. I draw this card, whatever it is. Cool, cool. Ooh, that's a good one. We're definitely going to want to play that. So we're going to tap these 3 for Scoot Swarm. Whenever it lands, enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If you control 6 or more, you're making a copy of Scoot Swarm. Crazy. Yeah, pretty sure Landfall's got this one. Let's see what we want to do, though. Careful, my cards are getting turned upside down. Okay. Right. 1, 2, and 3 to play Cultivate. 2 basics. That onto the field, and then whatever next basic I find, that's going into my hand. We're going to draw, or we're going to shuffle, rather. So that land went into onto the battlefield. So, gain 2 life, draw a card. Okay, I only have 3 available mana. Now, we're just gonna, for simplicity's sake, my lord, we're gonna, put a counter on that. So I now have 2 Scoot Swarms. Let's see. I have a 3-drop that would actually kind of help? I do not. Is there anything? Yes, that's important. So we'll do that. We're gonna tap good old Zimone to put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So I'm actually going to put this Thornwood Falls that comes in tapped anyway. When it comes in, you gain a life. I gain 2 life off of those triggers. I draw a card. I now have 3 Scoot Swarms, which is actually not the case because they basically what, double or something every time. These get crazy real fast. So I currently have 2 Scoot Swarms out, right? Land entered, so each Scoot Swarm makes a copy of itself. So that actually, yeah, they're basically doubling each time. Well, not really. That just doubled that time. So then I have 4. If I played a land, each of those would make another 4. So yeah, they basically double each time. Yeah. So we currently have 2 mana open. Is there anything that has any kind of triggers in that sense? No. But do I have a 4? I do, actually. So sure, we'll tap Lee Weaver to untap 2 lands. Then we'll tap these last 4 to play Court of Bounty. I'm now the Monarch. And at the beginning of my upkeep, I get to, let's put the counter on here, or a thing for upkeep triggers. Yes, now, something to realize, I do not have a Reliquary Tower or that kind of effect. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I do have to get rid of something. I would just get rid of this basic forest and go down to 7 cards in hand. Okay, all of that was just main phase 1, guys. I know you're probably bored out of your minds, but to me that was fun and interesting and exciting. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, let's recount it better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We've got 19 lands. So Mola Mola is a 19/19. So it's a 20/20 with trample. Excavator can attack these ones. This can attack too if I wanted, but these are, and the best part is these Scoot Swarms are 2/2s thanks to Mercfiend Liege. So those are good blockers. Yeah, so still I really only have these 2 in terms of big hits, but those are big hits. And yeah, completely empty. Interesting. What do you think? I don't want to, well, let's see. 14, right? We've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Exactly. So we don't want any shenanigans at the last, the 11th hour happening over there. Ow, darn it. Sorry. Bumped the stupid camera. Let me check it. Make sure it didn't wobble all over the place. Nope, still looks good. But yes, so we are sending these 4 creatures with a total of 14 damage over at you with exactly 14 health. I have no open mana and no instants. Slivers is going to die. We are sending a 20/20 trample at you. So we'll just go, yes, dead. And then now let's go look. From this perspective, we've got 47 life. I have no open mana. I have a destroy target artifact in my hand, or is it literally just artifact? And they don't even have any artifacts over there, I don't believe. So this card is irrelevant. All I can do on my turn at best is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10, 10 in the air. Or I could swing everything, which would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's actually would be better to swing the board in terms of raw damage. But they does have, nothing over here has trample, and there are 4 untapped creatures, this is tapped, to block. So it wouldn't even be the full 16, it would be far less. So 10 in the air would still be better, and that would leave blockers for the crackback. Yeah. But then again, we're going to ramp up even more and then swing the entire board in this direction. So these would kind of just almost take care of that stuff, and still another 20 hitting. So I don't believe there's any way to win this from the Samurai side, but let's see it. We're going to go ahead and take the damage. We're going to go down to 26. There's no, there is, because I am the Monarch, so I am going to draw a card. It's a forest. Not going to affect anything, and then pass. like I said, this deck does have quite a few board wipes, and one board wipe sets this back 1,000 years because all the lands on the field, the deck is largely ramp. Now, we could instantly play the commander again, and then as long as we play a couple lands, we can draw some more cards in the hopes of getting some more creatures and stuff, but... and there is one big creature in that hand already that would help, but I mean, it's not... A board wipe definitely decimates Landfall. So let's see what it is. Is it? Maybe? No. As an additional cost to cast this, it's March of Otherworldly Light. In addition to the additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of white cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. Well, we could get rid of Molomo because he is a 4, 5, 6, 7. So all we would have to do... I don't think we can. So we pay 1... That's untapped. We pay 1 white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I don't believe it. Man, I don't have a white card to discard in my hand. So there is no way to get rid of Molomo because it's a 7. With mana value 7 or less, I mean, we could get rid of Aisi, but that's not the danger, really. We're not in threat of dying from commander damage. If we don't... We've already established we have 16 power. He's already at 20. It's just going to ramp up next turn. So that would be 4 damage coming through no matter what. 4, and this is 7, so that's 12. 12 and 4 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Yep. I mean, he is essentially tapped out with the things. We'll call it, like, Last Defiance, we would be like, I swing out. Landfall is like, yeah, I take the full damage, it's cool. I'll take 16, down to, 31, and then pass turn, dead. So after Landfall takes the damage, Samurais concedes, great job, good game, all that stuff. And then crash, boom, you're dead on the next attack. So it would be untap, and then let's see what the card draw would be. Augur of Autumn. You may play any lands from your library, all that kind of stuff. Useful, but nothing. I mean, it's not game-changing. So yeah, I would swing in. Boom, dead, done. Your winner for match 2 is Landfall. I'm actually pleased with that. I'm glad you guys got to see Landfall go crazy. It's one of my favorite decks for the fun of it. It's also like a tricky deck for me because you have to maintain all these different triggers. So it's always a good learning experience. But yeah, that was fun. That was a good game. It's probably not super, super long, I guess. Probably an hour and a half. So I hope you... Well, no, probably closer to an hour. Good. That's awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, saw something to not do, something you maybe didn't know, or maybe got some ideas for your own decks. So if you're out there watching, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I will see you guys next time.